you tell us what your roles are at Summit Valley Horse Center?
Yes, my name is Lizzie, and I am the Executive Director of Summit Valley Horse Center.
My name's Morgan, and I am the Ranch Manager at Summit Valley Horse Center. So as the ranch manager, my day starts with waking up with the horses, going out and feeding, cleaning stalls, making sure waters are full, so just kind of basic chores. Then Lizzie will usually be there around that time. Sometimes she helps me with chores as well. And then we kind of meet and talk about our classes for the day, what we want to accomplish, what horses we're going to use. We plan out what saddles we're going to use. So we kind of do some planning before people start to arrive. And then we've got classes going on. Our classes are generally 2 hours. You go out in the field, you catch a horse, you get to groom them, work with them with basic training skills, whatever it is that horse is working on at that time. We also have our mini classes. Those are usually in the afternoons. So the second half of the day we'll be working with kids and minis. And then in the evening there's more chores. So making sure all the horses got grain and medications that day. Again, cleaning pens, throwing hay. We do put out big bales of hay with our tractor. So a lot of the time we're on the tractor. We're putting out hay bales, we're dragging the arenas, sometimes we're fixing fence, so it kind of really just depends on what needs to get done that day, but it's pretty much all day out in the sun doing chores and manual labor and getting to play with horses.
And a typical day for me, I generally start pretty early in the morning, just sending emails to everyone, making sure that all of the communications behind the scene is happening. And then I'll generally get to the ranch in the morning, and like Morgan was saying, we'll kind of just coordinate what classes or what curriculum we want to do each day for the classes, depending on what the weather's supposed to do and what horses really need that care that day. We'll typically run 1 to 2 classes every day, depending on if we have another group coming out, such as Keystone Science School or something. But yeah, the day at the ranch specifically is working with the horses and making sure they all get the care that they need, and that just facilitating all the general everyday stuff that needs to happen in addition to the classes that Morgan and I teach. And then typically I will go to several different meetings in the evenings, or send more emails, or just do all of the other kind of administration stuff, I would say. So they're long days after being out at the ranch for 10 hours or whatever. It's still consistently just cranking away as soon as I get home, but it's amazing just being out there all day and working with the horses and just watching them progress and trying to figure out, okay, so today it rained and we weren't able to get all this done, so tomorrow let's focus on these 3 horses that we know we need to work because we couldn't with the rain yesterday or something. So.
And we do have happy hours. Some days at the end of class, if it's a nice evening, the sun is setting, people will hang out. We can go down by the river or just hang out at the barn. But we do also have time for community bonding as well.
The biggest challenge is just coordinating all of the different skill levels of the volunteers plus the horses, and just making sure that the horses and the people are matched correctly so that they have the opportunities to really learn and teach each other and grow from each other. And then just scheduling everything we need to get scheduled is a huge challenge, and just as we get busier too, we're really hoping that we can simultaneously run some classes. The biggest need for our volunteers is just everybody that can come out every day to help us fix the fence and fill in the holes and feed the horses and make sure they have their appropriate grain, and just especially if Morgan or I are gone one day, just making sure someone can kind of fill into our roles. We just need volunteers to be out there to make sure all 15 to 20 of our rescue horses can get worked several times a week. And then finding volunteers to assist with our kids' classes is huge. A lot of people want to come out and they want to play with the horses, and I don't think they know that they can come out and help us when we have Keystone Science School and Girl Scouts coming out for an entire week, which is a lot of all hands on deck because you've got kids running around plus horses, and it just can get a little chaotic sometimes. And so just having people to help us manage those hours in addition to them wanting to come out and work with their own horses too. So yeah, it gets a little challenging just coordinating all of that.
Yeah. So consistency.
Yes.
Yeah, running a ranch is a lot of work. Just running it, as far as taking care of day-to-day maintenance and feeding of the horses. And then when you add a training program and horsemanship classes on top of that, it's a lot of work. And so if volunteers can help us really in all areas, but definitely that day-to-day maintenance, and then that is a great point about the kids programs as well. We definitely need people to help supervise kids and help with those, junior horsemanship days and Girl Scout days. So yeah, just, it's a working ranch. We have, a lot of horses out there, and it's not easy work. So any help we can get, we appreciate. I would say my favorite part is working with the rescue horses and watching them progress throughout the summer. It's really amazing to see where they start when we first get them to where they end up at the end of the summer. Last summer there was a Mustang that we couldn't even catch, and then by the end of the summer she was wearing a saddle. And so, even if you're not riding them, they still do make a lot of progress from where they start. So I really like working with the horses that maybe don't trust people, they're hard to catch, they don't really like to be touched, and then getting them to a point where they're comfortable enough to run around with a saddle on and sometimes even a rider. So I think the progression of the training process is really where my passion is.
My favorite part of the ranch is watching not only the horse progression like Morgan was just talking about, but I love watching our volunteers change, and how some of them come in and they've never touched a horse before and they have no idea what they're doing, and by the end of the summer they're wanting more time with all of the horses, and they're learning all of these things that they never even knew were possible with horses, and how they have come up to me and just talked to me about how that transfers into their daily lives and how they are now calmer and happier. And when they go home at night, their significant other will be like, "Did you go out to the ranch today? Like, you just seem so much happier than you were, 2 weeks ago before you started volunteering with us." And then just watching all of our kids just grow in the weeks that they spend time with us. To me, I didn't realize how much of an impact that would have just on my daily life. Like going home and knowing that's like I made a difference in like a local kid's life, or and just watching these horses, 2 months after we send them home, we're getting all these updates that they've been adopted and they're in these foreverly loving homes. And it's just nice knowing that. My favorite part, is just being able to watch that progression of the human growth and the horse, the second chance that they have.
So that actually goes back to our mission of people helping horses, helping people. So yes, we are helping these horses, but you're also helping people, because working with horses naturally makes you calmer, more self-aware, in tune with your emotions and how you're feeling, because horses really do read your energy. And so people become more confident, and again, self-aware. And so I think the personal growth is a huge piece of this. Just anyone who comes out and works with horses is going to feel that difference, feel like they are growing from the experience as well.